Hello and welcome to a quick demonstration of a new tool that I call threaded discussion or Tdiscus. Tdiscus is a threaded discussion tool that can be used with LTI. It's hierarchical. You can comment to comment to comment. There's lots of instructor control. It can grade threads. You can just put it all over in your course. It's LTI launched, right? And it has analytics built in. So let's take a look at how this threaded discussion works in a MOOC of my own making called pythonforeverybody.com. This is the outside Coursera, outside edX, etc. And so I've added this to Python for Everybody, and here is a series of discussions. In this particular use case, there is both a see all discussions view and there is a per lesson discussions view. So if we take a look at, say, Y program, we see that there is a discussion in depth of this. And this is kind of more the kind of thing that probably will be used in most learning management systems through LTI. We have some kind of a modular lesson system that's got your content, that's all your good stuff, and all that stuff's working, and you have just a discussion along with it. And if you happen to use the common cartridge stuff in Tsugi, then these discussions are actually rendered in the common cartridge and can be imported into learning management system. That's really the Koseu part that does this lessons. If you're using this Koseu feature of Tsugi, then these discussions, when you put them in your lessons JSON, show up. And so these are rather narrow, right? This is not the whole view of everything. But you can see a bunch of features right away. We can take a look at the settings. Sometimes this title would come from the learning management system, but you want to override it. You can give students a grade. You can put the comment box at the top or at the bottom, and then you can have some depth. The default depth is 2, that is, there's threads, there's comments, and then one layer of sub-comments, and you'll sort of see how that works in a second. I've got this at the default, which is 2. There's going to be a lot more features here over time. So I would say that this takes inspiration from lots of things, but it's trying to solve not just a in-class threaded discussion, but also more of a bulletin board. You can use it as a bulletin board. You'll sort of see when I go to the broad thing. So things like whether the staff has read it or the staff has answered it. A lot of threaded discussions do this. You've got an edit button, so you can just change this. You've got a delete button. You can pin it, and the pinning is pinning within this thread, and you can unpin it. You can hide it, or you can unhide it. Or you can lock it, or you can favorite. Now the difference between pinning and favoriting has to do with each individual user can favorite it versus the instructor can pin it. Okay, so I'm going to unpin that particular one. So let's just take a look into this particular one. And so there's a thread, and then there is a series of comments. And you can see that you can do sub-comments. There's not enough to be more than one page. And so that's how that works. And you can see these, some of these are for the teacher and some of these things are for the student. So that's it. You got a search capability. You got a number of different sorts. We can sort it by most earliest. We can sort it by most recent. We can go back to threads. You can see that the threads have a number of different sorts: most views, most comments, latest, earliest, etc. I'll show you those in a bit. And so let me just kind of go out and go to in a sense, this is the course global perspective. And that is, this is going through the entire course and looking at all of the discussions. So discussions can have multiple threads, and threads can have comments. And so if we take a look at, let's just take a look at Python for Everybody, right? So we have 3 discussions in this welcome thread. you see that I have made one thing I call experimental tool that I've pinned and locked, right? And so this is just, it's kind of an announcement in this situation, and I can reply, but since it's locked, no one else can reply. I'm the teacher, so I can do that. I can hide it. The deleting and hiding, the idea of deleting and hiding is at some point this works like a bulletin board and you're just going to get lots and lots of threads. I've got it set so that students can make threads. Now there's a checkbox that's kind of common that says whether or not students can make threads. And if students can make threads, we're going to get a bunch. So this, like this one right here, typos and other errors found in course materials. I didn't make this. This was made by a student. And the student put something in. And then you see me, you know, answering, and they're giving me stuff. And so you see this reply. This is reply. That's a reply. And now this is a 2-level deep one, and so I can't have a reply there. But I can make this pretty easily a 5-level deep thing if I just change this number to 5. And so that is not a limitation of the program. That is a limitation of the choice that I've made so that we don't get like super nested Reddit style deep within deep within deep within deep. Let's take a look at introduce myself. You just kind of see here that we got some paging going on here. First page, last page, most recent, earliest. Let's go to all threads. You can see the sorting working a little better. So now this sorting is not going to help much. Views is, I guess we see it by views. But if we sort by comments, it's going to be the same thing. We can sort by earliest. We can sort by latest. Now we can add a new thread. And let's see, is there anything else that analytics. This is a feature of most Sugi tools where you can, it's got this sort of soft calculation of analytics that allows you to see when activity is happening. That's just all built into Sugi. That this tool did not build its own analytics. It just uses the Sugi built-in analytics. And so again, I would say that this discussion is designed to function as a bulletin board. There's a lot of tools that allow an instructor to configure it and choose it and manage. The idea of staff created and staff replied is if it's bulletin board style, you kind of want to know that somebody has actually seen it. And if you sort of look, you see on this particular one, I've been pretty active, and staff hasn't viewed that one yet. So let's take a look at this particular one. Blah, 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 blah. And am I staff? Yeah, now staff read that one. And it just gives a sense to students to know what's going on, you know, unanswered, etc. This one's got some comments, so there's answers. And that kind of thing allows you to be bulletin board-like, right? One of the things that I'm going to build is the ability to auto-expire these things. And so if you start getting discussions that last a really long time, I mean, with lots of threads that are kind of old and out of date, some of these things, like when this gets to be 40 or so, I'll start cleaning them up. But it's all designed in a way that is possible, and I'll probably add a setting to say, you know, throw this stuff away after 180 days, except for the stuff that's pinned and locked, because this the pinned by the teacher. And so there you go. So I guess the other thing to talk about is a little bit about where this tool is going to go. I am going to evolve this. This is based on a really, really solid data model. It's all relational. This is not no SQL. It should scale to tens of thousands of users, I mean, without any effort whatsoever, because it is so relational, which means that's why data can be cleaned up easily. There's a couple things that I want to do is I want to make it so that this tool really becomes a more general feature inside of Sugi, so that any tool can have its own threaded discussion. and there's some work that I got to do, like convert the UI to more web components based and JSON based, which I will do. And then I want to build a number of, you can look at the source code. Let's take a look at the source code here. Let's see if I got that right. Yeah, you can take a look at the README. It shows you how in the README to do this and how to put it in and how to put it in lessons discussion, lessons.json. And then I got quite a to-do list, right? I got to add email, I got to add some uploading of images and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Version tracking. I want to create a Piazza style UI and a Slack style UI using this backend. And so I have a lot of plans for this, but as it sits, it's already a powerful minimum viable product. So if you want to use this, you can apply for a key on sugicloud.org. It's completely open source. You can simply install it into your own instance of Sugi, much the way I've installed it here in Python for everybody. And so it's free and open source. All of Sugi is free and open source. But if you just want to play with it, go ahead and mosey over to sugicloud.org and get an LTI key and plug it into your learning management system. You know, we can see we got how to plug these kinds of things into Canvas, Sakai, Blackboard, Brightspace, etc. You just go and get yourself a key, and away you go. Okay. So I hope that this helps and that you find this tool useful. Cheers.